Okay, hello and welcome. We're going to start in 1 or 2 minutes. I'm still sending notifications to my students and to my subscribers. So today we've got an IELTS essay writing class. In the meantime, while we're waiting for some more people to show up, could you please put in the chat box or could you please put pluses so that you can hear me and everything is fine. I just need 1 or 2 more minutes to send notifications to all my students so that they could participate and to subscribers as well. There might also be a delay today in the broadcast. So yes, I will be able to see your commentaries maybe after at least 30 seconds and sometimes more. But I hope we will be working productively like in previous live streams. Okay, I'm sending my last message to 100 students, and then I'll be ready to start. Unfortunately, I can only know the link of the broadcast um, only when I started. That's why first 2 or 3 minutes of the broadcast, I have to send notifications to students. Okay, I'm now closing all the windows with messages, and I'll be all yours in just 30 seconds. All right, let me have a look at the commentary section, and I just want to see how many viewers there are. So maybe people are showing up already. And the first thing, the first thing that uh, I want to ask you to do is try write in the commentary. Please write in the commentaries what do you think is going to be the topic um, of our essay today and the topic of our lesson today. First thing that okay, I can hear myself. Is try write in the commentary. Please write in the commentaries. Okay, there are there are 10 people, uh, 11 people, so I can see your pluses. Thank you. Yes, and get okay, Matvey. Gas emissions or CO2 pollution. Yes, that's very close. Our topic is going to be a little bit more specific than that, but to a certain extent, you're right. Pollution, Elena. Okay, right. So we're going to talk about air pollution. You're right, and also how cars are connected with this. Just as a small warm up, could you please write in the chat box some commentaries or some ideas about the following two questions? What are some possible ways to reduce air pollution? And do you think I'm, I'm sorry, I can hear myself. Okay, I'll just turn off my because I could hear myself. I don't know if you could hear. All right. Yeah. So could you please write answers in the chat box? Do you think car-free days, so special days when there are no cars, is an effective way to reduce air contamination? Why or why not? So please try to write some brief commentaries about this. I see that there are 13 people. If you don't mind, could you also please put thumbs up or likes for this video so that more people could join us and possibly see that we're doing a live stream. Okay, so while I'm waiting for some of your commentaries, there might be um, it might take time, and there might also be some delay. Um, let me just share a couple of ideas with you. So banning cars on certain days could force motorists, meaning drivers, um, to find alternative means of transportation, and as a result, they might then become habits For example, they might use bicycle, public transport, or even they might even work from home. Okay, then governments could create laws as for other methods, some other possible ways of reducing pollution. You could say that governments could create laws related to industrial production, such as raw mineral mining or consumer electronics manufacturing, and textile production. Okay, so I don't see any ideas about possible ways to reduce pollution. If you have any commentaries, you can write them anytime during the live stream, and yes, um, I will then read them and we'll discuss them. So if there is some delay, that's fine. You can write your commentaries at any time during the live stream. Okay, so we're going to watch now a short video. Okay, Matvey, redesigning of production to have more ecological way and less waste, just not to burn them out. Okay, yeah, thank you. All right, we're now going to watch a short video, and I want you to watch it and then to answer 3 questions. What are alternatives to using the car according to this video? What are the benefits of the World Car-Free Day? And what are the effects of cars on the environment? Okay, if I can, I will copy the words now in these questions in the chat box so that you could see them. Please give me a second, and then we're going to watch a short video. Okay, just the chat box is loading for me. And there you go. Okay, now let's watch the video, and please be ready to answer these questions. The questions are in the chat box for your convenience. So here's the video.
Air pollution. Noise. This is what vehicles can bring to our everyday lives. Car-Free Day is celebrated on September 22nd every year. People are encouraged to cycle or walk instead of driving a car. The idea is to inspire more sustainable ways to travel and reduce traffic and emissions. So how can a day without cars benefit Beijing? Let's do the math. The average mid-size sedan with a 1.6-liter engine drives about 27 kilometers per day. Average diesel consumption is 0.11 liters per kilometer. So a mid-sized family car will consume 2.97 liters of diesel every day. Data shows that Beijing had nearly 6 million vehicles by the end of 2017. Now, assuming 1 million vehicles are mid-sized sedans, let's think about what would happen if they all disappeared just for one day. 1 million cars will use 2.97 million liters of diesel per day, or roughly 985,000 gallons. Leaving those cars at home will eliminate 8 million kilograms of carbon emission, the equivalent of planting 650 million trees. The price of diesel is $2.80 per gallon. One day without those 1 million cars will save drivers $2.76 million. According to the World Health Organization, about 4.2 million people are at risk of premature deaths annually due to outdoor air pollution. Vehicular emissions, which contain PM 2.5, 10, and noxious gases like nitrogen dioxide and sulfur dioxide, are a major contributor. Experts believe using public transport and fuel-efficient vehicles will not only help pollution, but free up money for governments to spend in key priority areas like poverty alleviation or disease control. So on September 22nd, leave your car at home and take the bus or ride a bike to help make Beijing a cleaner place.
Okay. So yes, while you're typing some possible answers to the video, Mark wrote an answer to the previous question. So one of the most reasonable ways how we can reduce air pollution is to plant more trees, right? And you can use this as your main idea in your detailed paragraph when we start writing the essay today. Brilliant. Now, Matvey, the problems of a car-free day would be enormous, such as higher traffic jams in the other days with more total pollution. Okay, if you decide to use this idea in your main body paragraph, you will need to explain it. Why? So if people don't use a car for the next day, why do they start using cars more the following day? So there should be some explanation and then maybe examples supporting your explanation. All right, so you watched the video. Now, what are alternatives? What are the benefits of the world um, car-free day, and what are the effects of cars on the environment according to the video? So I can see that Mark has written, you can go by bus or any other types of public transport, and you can go on foot. Okay, right. If there are any other commentaries, please write them in the chat box. In the meantime, while you're typing, I will send you a link to an article that we're going to read just also in a few minutes. And there will also be questions for discussion. Okay, yeah, so Matvey, personally, one of the sufficient ways, maybe the most sufficient ways, is governmental transportation. Okay, then car-free day can be a good way of marketing an idea of ecological purposes. Okay, and Irina, I didn't quite understand else a circle or what you wanted to say. Maybe you can clarify. All right, so if you want to write anything anything else, please feel free to write in the chat box. I will give you, I will comment on this. Yeah, Alicia, additionally, several types of electronic vehicles. Okay, yes, these are some alternative ways. Okay, now I will give you, let's say, 5 minutes to read an article, and please, the link to the article is in the chat box, and there are 3 comprehension questions. So try to answer, what are the goals of the World Car-Free Day? Then why is World Car-Free Day important according to the article? Okay, Anna, I will know that Alicia, it's Anna. So what are the benefits of alternative types of transport? Okay, for those who are maybe using phone and you cannot like open different windows on your device, I will just scroll down the text slowly so that you could read it from the screen. Okay, so here are the questions again, and here's the text. So you can read it, and please type short answers in the commentary section. Okay. All right, if there are any answers, please type them in the chat box and we'll move on and we'll start the actual writing of our essays. So if you wish to write any answers, please feel free to do so during any time, at any time during the live stream. And we're going to have a look at a task right now. So the essay topic that we're going to write today is going to be dedicated to car-free days. So there's a real IELTS essay topic from July, I think. So it could be repeated next year as well. Chances are pretty high. So some people believe that car-free days are effective ways to reduce air pollution. However, others argue that there are other ways that are more effective. Discuss both views and give your opinion. All right. So it's a discussion essay and you need to discuss both views. Okay, so Anna, yeah, the answer is raising awareness about the pollution caused by using cars, helping to reduce emissions. Okay, great, thank you. Then because it reduces pollutants emissions for at least one day, which is better than none, and also helps promoting other modes of transport. Okay, good. Now, Matvey, the main goal of the day without cars is to promote the idea of helping the environment and to decrease the pollution amount. Okay, brilliant. Number two, it's important not only because the CO2 emissions are enormous, but also promote to the investors of ESG companies to bring their money to solve the ecological issues. Okay, great. So now that we look at, we come back to our task. Um, and when you receive an essay at the exam, the first thing you need to do is to analyze the task, to understand what is required. And in order to do that, the very first thing you need to do, even before you start planning your essay, you need to underline keywords and well, in order to understand what is required of you. So you need to underline task words, sorry, topic words and task words. So topic words is what the essay is about, and task words, this is what you're supposed to do. Okay, so could you please write in the chat box what you think the keywords are? Okay, I will give you like a minute for that. Once again, so what are the keywords? What are the topic words? And what are the task words? Okay, so while you're typing your answers, I think there is going to be a delay. And when I show you my sample, my variant, you will already have typed your answers by this time. So the topic words, yeah, so Matvey, right, discuss both views and give your opinion. That these are the task words. And there are also topic words. Yes, Kate, that's car-free days, reduce air pollution. And this is the first half of the task. And there is also the second one. There are other ways that are more effective, other ways more effective. And then discuss both views and give your opinion. These are the task words. So why is it important? Because you need to write to be on the topic, and you need to answer the questions, and you need to do exactly what the task says. Because if you write about car-free days and um, what are the advantages and disadvantages, instead of discussing both views, or if you just will write whether you agree or disagree with this instead of discussing both views and giving your opinion, then you limit yourself to band 5 in task response. Okay, so after we analyze the task, the next step is to brainstorm some ideas which you will later use for writing your essay. You can, so after brainstorming, you can also make a plan. Basically here we have um, two positions. Position one, and try to give some explanations for this. Why can people believe that? Can you try to type this in the chat box? So some people believe that car-free days are effective ways to reduce air pollution. If you want, you can use some ideas from the video or from the article that you read, or you can invent your own ideas. So why is that? And there's the other position. However, others argue that there are other ways that are more effective. So what are some possible reasons for that? I'll give you a couple of minutes. Please try to write this in the commentary section. Okay, less fuel burning. So um, car-free days are effective because we burn less fuel. Okay, that's a valid point. And later, if you write your detailed paragraph, I'm sorry, main body paragraph, you will need to support it with some further evidence. Okay. Why is it good that we burn less fuel? So maybe like as a result, there is less pollution or something like this. Okay. Any other ideas? Okay. So let's say a good way of marketing again, statistically less CO2 emissions, so the smaller amount of CO2 emissions would happen. Okay, production, redesigning, recyclable production waste. So there are, you just mentioned what the other ways are, and also why are they um, more effective. You will need to include this reason into your detailed paragraph in a discussion essay as well. Okay, so here's a possible way. If you have any other ideas, please feel free to write them in the chat box. So for the idea that some people believe that car-free days are effective, yes, Ekaterina, you wrote that not less but fewer car accidents or car traffic. Car accidents have nothing to deal with air pollution, because the topic of the essay is going to be air pollution, and if you write about the reduced number of car accidents, you deviate from the topic. It's an irrelevant idea for this particular essay topic. If you want to write about reduced car traffic, you should also explain why it is possible, but you need to explain why it is good for reducing air pollution. So here are some possible ways to present these arguments. So car-free days will force motorists or drivers to find alternative means or modes of transportation. Then, and as a result, this might form habits. So they might, for example, ride bicycles, use public transport instead, or even work from home. So they won't pollute the environment in this way by using their cars. Now, if you write about other ways, then you can write about there are many other sources of air pollution, for like industrial sources, and so you could say that governments could create laws restricting industrial production, such as raw material mining, consumer electronics manufacturing, and textile production. Okay, things like that. All right, so now we're going to write an introduction. You have from 4 to 5 minutes, and you should write the introduction. There should be at least 2 sentences, although it's possible to write just one. You need to paraphrase the task and outline both views, which is the same because the task consists of these two positions. Ideally, try to use complex sentences. For example, sentence of concession or contrast clauses are really useful here. And give your opinion. So which of these positions do you support? This should be included. All right. Try to do this within 4 to 5 minutes, and then I'll give you my feedback.
.6-liter engine drives about 27 kilometers.
Okay, so here's an example of what an introduction can look like. Many today believe that designated car-free days are the optimal way to reduce rising air pollution. And you could state the second position here, like while others believe, or you can do it like this. Personally, I deem that car-free days would be the best remedy despite other viable options. Okay? Or you can have the contrast, these two positions here, and then just say, personally, I agree, I believe this and that. Okay? So if there are any introductions, please feel free to write them in the chat box. Okay, so there are some introductions. So Matvey, not this day and age, it's an idiom. You cannot change anything in this idiom. You should write in this day and age. So in this day and age is a synonym for nowadays. It's an idiomatic expression, but you cannot change anything. I mean, if there is preposition, you need to keep it. Maybe you were copying it from somewhere and you just lost, but it looks like you didn't because you have a capital letter. So in this day and age, there is a commonly held perception that the days without using cars are a appropriate track for reducing air pollution. Maybe not track, but a way, while others supposed to claim that there are more sufficient ways to solve this issue. Okay, I definitely believe that you don't need a comma before that. I definitely believe that redesign of industrial productions has more potential in lowering CO2 emissions. Okay, Ekaterina, what if we can change the world for one day? The only things we need is to establish car-free day. Okay, this is a brilliant piece of writing, but not appropriate for academic style, I'm afraid. So you're using a rhetorical question in a very spoken way. And in academic essay, um, they are not asking you about suggestions or like what are like some possible solutions. They ask you to discuss both views and give your opinion. It should be objective, formal, or neutral in style. Okay, Kate, nowadays air pollution problem become, you either say has become or is becoming, but not become. It's just grammatically not correct. So has become or is becoming. Now, more and more relevant. It's a small stylistic mistake because more and more, again and again, these expressions are more characteristic of spoken style. Although you can come across this even in IELTS essays, but it's more common in spoken style. Okay, so you use a broad general statement here. So some people think that car-free days can help to solve it, while others support another more effective ideas. All right, this is not the complete introduction. You haven't included your opinion here. So you need one more sentence. Or what you could have done is, while some people believe, you take one position, comma, I believe, and at the same time, you express your position and you paraphrase the second position, like just in one clause. This is also possible. Or you can leave it till conclusion. So usually by the time people finish writing their essays, they don't have much time. So what you can do is like in conclusion, well, some people believe, comma, and one position, I believe, and the second one. All right. Good. So thank you for your introductions. Now, coming to the main body paragraph, and this is the most important part of your essay. We're going to spend 10 minutes writing it. Um, so usually I recommend my students to start with the position that you disagree with, the weak position, so-called. And just at least you need to say, like, on the one hand, present the position, explain why people believe that. You might not agree with this, but you still need to present their position. Give an example that supports their explanation, and say why you agree or disagree. And probably within 10 minutes, if it's especially if it's your first or second attempt of writing an essay, you'll be able to present something like this. But if you want a higher bench score, then what you can do is you can develop your ideas better. So for bench 7, the requirement is like to present, extend, and support your position. I'm quoting evaluation criteria. Also, your position should be clear throughout the essay, and that's why you include your position in the introduction, and here you say why you disagree. In another one, in the other position, you say why you agree, and in conclusion, you state your position again. So you just present, extend, and support for band 7. Now for band 8 or higher, you need to fully present, extend, and fully support and extend your position. And it means you need to write more, and it should be logical and coherent. So you present a topic sentence, explain it, develop it with an example, but you do not stop here. You continue explaining your example. You keep developing it fully. It can be, well, you can give a result or a consequence. Then you can also include an alternative or a counterpoint, and then write a mini conclusion, um, and possibly why you agree or disagree. So you still just take one position, but you develop it um, in a much more fully. Yeah. Okay. So please take one of the positions now, and at least try to explain and give an example and maybe why you disagree. So 3 or 4 sentences. Um, yes, you'll probably need to copy this in 2 parts, because there's some kind of limit for symbols in the chat box. So you can add different parts. Okay, and I'll give you 10 minutes for that. Okay, so some commentaries appear. On the one hand, people tend to think about using a car-free day worldwide because it can be used as a marketing way to face the humanity in front of pollution problems and, therefore, with their help, reduce CO2 emissions. Okay, there is a topic sentence explanation and also an example is needed. Yeah, there it is. To exemplify, I would say a company called Greenpeace tested this sort of idea by sending people on the small boats to oil tankers, and the government of Germany reduced the amount of oil production for 4 months. Okay, maybe by 4 months or 4 months. Um, there could be further explanation for the extension of your example, and or you can also say why you agree or disagree with the statement. So a possible way to structure main body paragraph, and that's quite a developed idea, is this. On the one hand, critics of this policy argue that governments could instead legislate for industrial production. Apart from cars, the main sources of air pollution are raw material mining, consumer electronics, manufacturing, and textile production, or you could say textile fabrication or textile manufacturing. If governments were to introduce stringent controls on production methods, this would lead, or this would probably lead to a simultaneous decrease or a concomitant decline in air production. In many European countries, for example, there are limited carbon emissions thresholds for companies to use in production. Exceeding these values leads to heavy fines and other sanctions or other penalties. This forward-looking solution is also attractive because it would cover the entire calendar year, whereas car-free days are rather limited in scope. So there is a topic sentence, then explanation, and some, well, further extension with a conditional sentence. And then there is an example, and there is a further explanation of this example, and then it's developed even further. So this is just a possible way to develop your idea as well. Okay. So then we take the second position and we can develop it. So in this case, it'll be about car-free days. On the other hand, there's some contrast with this. We present the second position. Car-free days would have a greater impact because of or due to their far-reaching effects or their far-reaching implications. And then you start explaining it. First, a car ban would massively reduce air pollution figures as cars emit more harmful gases into the atmosphere than any other industry. And then you continue explaining. Secondly, a ban would force motorists to find alternative modes or means of transport, which could then become habitual. Someone who cannot drive to work once a week could consider working at home or using public transport. If they find these options more efficient, they might willingly give up, or well, if you think that give up is like a phrasal verb, it's too spoken, you can say they might abandon or do without using the car on other days. Over time, this could lead to a shift in society's thinking and people no longer being so fixated on owning a car as a symbol of wealth and success. Okay, we could say affluence instead of wealth. Yeah, this idea came to my mind later. But instead, prioritizing efficiency and a cleaner environment. Okay, so after this live stream is over, in the commentaries to this live stream, you can post your main body paragraph, one or even the whole essay. The limits will allow you to post the whole essay in the commentaries, like not in the chat during the live stream. So and I will give you my feedback. But before writing your essay or main body paragraphs, again before sending them, have a look at a checklist. So here's a checklist, and also like if you want to receive this checklist and have it for yourself, yeah, you can get the materials for this live stream here. I'll just copy the link in the chat box. Okay, there you go. So after you write your main body paragraph, have a look at this checklist, and maybe you will want to rewrite something. So make sure that you have stated the main idea in the topic sentence. There is main idea. Your paragraph should have a central idea. Then you need to make sure that your topic sentence is clear and concise. So it's abundantly clear. It's absolutely clear. Um, it is crystal clear what the main idea is. Then make sure that you have supported your topic sentence with some evidence. Explanation, example, result, consequence, contrast, alternative, mini conclusion, or restatement of the argument. So actually two of these, that's like really minimum. If you write 6 sentences, that's great. If you learn to write 6 sentences and you can do this within 40 minutes, I mean, both paragraphs, an introduction and conclusion, that's great. Then the reasons I have given are clear and logical. It's easier to check this when you're planning. If you're making a plan with just short phrases, then it's easier to check if they're logical than when you have written the whole paragraph, if your sentences are long. But still make sure that your sentences, that the reasons that you have given are clear and logical. Then it's very important. My example is relevant to the main idea of my paragraph and to the question of the essay, right? So you cannot write that there will be no more accidents because it has got nothing to do with air pollution. Well, unless you find some tricky explanation for that. Then make sure that there is no need to explain some of my ideas further. If there is a need, explain. If it's only clear to you, but not to the reader, explain. Then I've used linking words effectively. So one of the ways to make your ideas and the relationship between your ideas clear for the reader is to use linking words. That's not the only way. No, this is not the focus of our lesson today, but there are other ways, such as referencing, but not only. Um, and yeah, you can use linking words to connect your ideas, and then also make sure that there are no more than 2 sentences in a row without connecting words. Well, of course, it's not the only way. Maybe you connect your ideas in some other ways. Then okay, probably you don't need linking words. But if you do not use other more advanced way like lexical cohesion or referencing or something like this, then you probably need linking words. Then I do not use the same linking words and phrases repeatedly in my paragraph. So yeah, go through these points after you've written your paragraph, and then send it to the commentaries in this video after this live stream is over. So I'll be ready to give feedback for the next 7 days. So within 7 days, like until the 6th or 7th of December, you can send your essays here, and I'll give you my feedback, and I will rewrite your essays in a more natural way. Okay. So, and finally, we have conclusion. Okay. So, yes, we have the conclusion. In conclusion, we need to summarize the main ideas, then express our opinions again, and possibly, it's not really necessary, but you can include a final thought, such as a prediction or a recommendation. So here's an example. To recapitulate, while regulating certain industries would also help reduce air pollution or would aid in the reduction of air pollution, if you think that help is so simple, such a simple word, you can say aid. I'm utterly convinced that banning cars on certain days is the best solution. It is high time governments considered implementing and expanding the existing measures to ban private cars, or if you want to sound smarter, you can say private vehicles. Okay, so that's a possible conclusion. Now, if you have any questions, please feel free to write them in the chat box. I will wait for a few minutes. So yeah, if you want to receive the materials for this live stream, the model answer, the checklist, and also a video lesson, separate video lesson, how to write a discussion essay, here's the link. I mean, this link is long, and you can just, if you're watching, you can copy the short link. I will also post it in the description, and you can get these materials. All right, let me just see if there are any questions. All right, if there are no questions now, then, and if you have any questions later, you can post them in the commentaries to this video. I reply to, I answer all the questions. So, and then thank you all for participation, and see you in the next live stream, or if you are my student, see you in the next class.